Does short-term pain for long-term gain be the new mantra, sir?
I don't think India will agree to a treaty or an agreement with the US only for short-term gains. Because as we have seen in the case of the first Trump administration, the tariffs which the administration imposed were not rolled back by the Biden administration subsequently. So, whatever India concedes now, if it is not in its interest, it is likely to continue beyond the Trump regime, in which is scheduled to end in January 2029. So, whatever India now agrees to will have a long-term impact, and that is the view that I think the Indian government will hold in while negotiating the treaty with the US. The second point that I wanted to mention is that the US has been very vociferous in its demands. It wants this, it wants that, etc., etc. But it has not mentioned at any juncture what it is prepared to give to India. And that is what I think I would like to draw the attention of the audience to this point, that India has repeatedly said that it wants a balanced and fair agreement, and it should be mutually beneficial. By mutually beneficial, it means that if India concedes certain tariff concessions to the US must also reduce its tariffs below the pre-Trump levels, which is December 2024 levels, to
Okay.
accord extra market access to Indian products of Indian interest.
So, Professor,
Yes.
is there an opportunity in this crisis?
I don't really think so. Opportunity, I'll come to that. But the first point is that the most important thing, India should wait and watch, and wait and watch in the sense that India should try to negotiate first. The American delegates are coming next month. We don't have to be, we should not be retaliating immediately at this point of time. But yes, India has to be firm so far as national interests are concerned. And when I use the word national interest, I refer to India's defense interest with Russia, geopolitical collaboration with Russia. So on the issue of energy, probably India can diversify. Let me tell you that there is a possibility, and the difference of price between the Ural oil, which is Ural crude oil, which is coming from Russia, and the Brent, which is the other pricing mechanism. So it's not much, and India is gaining just $1 to $2 per barrel. That's the net gain that India is having, and annual benefit is roughly, according to some estimates, it approximately $2 billion. So it's possible that India can diversify energy. It can start importing from other places, but Trump is not stopping that, and that's the reason, Shamson, former Secretary of India, he wrote a very strong article where he is asking India to stand up, and I kind of agree to that India has to stand up, and India should not get bullied, because Trump respects, strong men. Let me tell you, Trump respects the countries which have pursued a very strong policy, which have, in a way, if I can use the term, retaliated against United States, be it China, be it Brazil, to an extent South Africa, even other countries also, which have stood firm. But if you compromise at this point of time, and if you say, for instance, that I'll not import energy and I'll import less defense products from Russia, so that would be a disastrous policy for India. So India has to convey at some point that there are some red lines which cannot be beyond which we cannot negotiate, and defense is one red line that India has to say it very clearly. That is impossible to switch from one platform to other platform. It takes a lot of time, and given the fact that US is not willing to share technology, so India should not go for some defense purchase.
Actually, I need to clarify. What I meant was that saying no to America will be pain in short term but gain in long term. I think it was perceived as otherwise. That's what I meant. If you say no to America right now, might pain us in short term, but we will gain in long term.
Just if you give me just 1 minute, yeah. So coming to that point, short term, I think India should be willing to take the short term pain for the sake of long term, because India has to stamp the firm at some point of time, because Trump is dictating the policy that how we should have the relationship with Russia. Russia has been a very close historic partner of India, and because of geopolitical interests, because of different interests, we have to say no to United States at some point of time, and we cannot allow United States to dictate policy on BRICS also. That we have with the BRICS, we have a good relation with all the important parts of the global South, and we cannot be dictated by US. So India has to convey very strongly at some point of time that these trade is negotiable, and I agree that India should negotiate on the issue of trade, but on the issue of defense and national security, India has to stand firm.
Ajit, why has Russia become such an issue? Earlier it looked as if Trump is in love with Vladimir Putin in the first term. When he was not the president, he was in full praise of Vladimir Putin. And suddenly the Russian war economy has become such a big issue that he is willing to strain ties with India.
Well, I think the main reason, Karthike, is that Trump assumed, in fact, remember his statement that the moment I become president, within 1 day, I'll end the Ukraine-Russia war. And Russia clearly refused. He did not understand Russia's national sovereignty, Russia's core interest, national interest, on why it is engaging in this war. And second, the world assumed that President Trump is basically, just hung up on trade and trade tariffs and sort of immigration. But what happened while he was negotiating with the Europeans and telling the Europeans to spend more on defense, somehow they persuaded him to play a bigger role in trying to end this Ukraine-Russia war. I mean, they kind of told him, you're the leader of NATO.